What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with the overall markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And don't forget about my Moomoo link. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. Deposit $1,000 and you're guaranteed 15 in total. Anyways, for the market right now, we're still looking very, very bearish, making lower highs and lower lows. SPY has the support at the 4-hour 50 EMA, so we'll have to see if that holds at 589.72 to 590. If that breaks, there is a risk of 588, then 585 is our targets. So be very, very careful with SPY. Just know that today we have about 900,000 of these calls expiring, a little bit over that. Then we have over 3.3 million puts expiring for a 3.7 put to call ratio with max pain at 580. As of right now, it's not really affecting the market as much. The market remains bearish after Jerome Powell's speech yesterday. We just got some manufacturing numbers. Everything was a little bit close to expectations, and we'll see what happens with business inventories at 10 a.m., but all the data is very minor. Alibaba beat on its profits, but it's ended up losing and missing on revenue. So I want to make that very clear. We had about $32 billion in revenue, a little bit below expectations. Besides that, profitability was decent alongside their net income growth. Guidance was pretty good. I'm not going to go over the full details for this because the share price is very flat. It kind of like it dipped at first, and I was trying to rebound just a little bit because of good guidance. Besides that, there's not really much else that's coming out. Jerome Powell shook the markets yesterday. He did say that the Fed is not in a hurry to reduce rates, and that's what caused the market to dip. Besides that, I'm not seeing anything else that's too big on the news. Amazon's basically announced that they're going to allow their Prime members to get fixed pricing for treatment of conditions such as hair loss and things like that. But that's pretty much it, guys. Now let's just talk about the charts. So we're looking bearish on SPY. We're continuing to reject over and over again. SPY is going to be testing 589.72 to 590. If we lose that, I do anticipate a little bit more downside for 588.5, potentially all the way back down to these lower levels. The next level would be, if we do lose 588, we could be testing this previous breakout area around 585. So there's a risk of downside on SPY as of right now. Now, if we hold 590, we could attempt to rebound and fill this gap. If 590 continues to hold, we could be trying to make our way back up to 592 to fill that gap to the upside. And if we break that, we'll be looking for a test of 594 at the 20 EMA. For ES, we're also a little bit more bearish. We look like we might be pushing lower for 59.30, all the way down to those lower levels. So we'll have to see if we get a bounce or not. As of right now, we do look more bearish. We got to reclaim 59.60 to turn back up. Otherwise, we do favor downside a bit more. As far as Tesla goes, Tesla is looking like it's attempting to rebound a little bit. We'll have to see if 300 holds. Look for 302 to be tested. This came down to test that, only to rebound. So now we could attempt to push higher. This would push very, very, very close to about 318. So I think that we're going to be looking for 315 and 318 as our targets. And we could reject off one of those levels to start dipping lower if that ends up getting a rejection. Because the problem with Tesla is we are making lower highs. We had a high here, came down, and a lower high came down. So it made an attempt to push higher, but we'll see if we make a lower high near 318 to 315. Look for a little bit more upside upon open, and we'll see what kind of reaction we get for Tesla. This imbalance has not been filled yet, so there is still a risk of downside. So watch and see a big test on Tesla. Watch for a little bit of a push upon open to 315 to 318, and we'll see if we get a rejection back down closer to like 303 or below. Nvidia is dipping to about 144. That's going to be our target. We'll have to see how it reacts to that. If that fails, this 142 is coming, but there is a risk of it rejecting. Notice that Bitcoin has a tendency of rejecting. We hit this high here, came down, rejected, hit a lower high, rejected, hit a lower high, rejected, over and over and over again. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's what we're seeing, at least thus far. So there's a little bit of a shift, at least with the way that this is moving. For other factors out there, we also have NQ. NQ's on a bit of a downtrend. We're looking for 20,800 and 20,675 is our next target. For the QQQ, we got to reclaim 504.87 and then get back up to 508. Otherwise, this is going to continue to fall. So if we don't reclaim 504.87, there's a risk of us coming down to 502.5, and eventually the breakout area closer to 500. So we could be dipping closer to 500 on the QQQ if that fails. For Apple, we look a little bit more bearish. We're going to be looking for 225 if that fails, as we dip lower towards 224.8. And besides that, we have the IWM. We got to try to hold 230. Otherwise, there's a risk of us coming down to fill this gap. If 230 fails, we're looking for 226. And if we hold 231, we could be pushing for 234. Just keep that in mind. We'll see if 230 holds or not. Coin could be dipping closer to about 170 or 278. Amazon could be dipping closer to this imbalance towards 206.5 if we don't reclaim 209. So reclaim 209 and we bounce. Otherwise, we will be dipping lower. Meta could be dipping closer to about 569. So we'll see how it goes after that. Microsoft may be dipping closer to about 421. If that fails us, we're looking for 420 as our target, then 418. And then we'll see if it bounces off that or not. Google also looks more bearish for 175. We'll have to see if that holds. If not, there is a risk of us coming all the way down to like 172. Anyways, that's my super lightning fast update. I am kind of running out of time tonight, or at least this morning. I'll see you guys very soon in my next one. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll give you guys a more comprehensive update later on, but just know the market remains bearish. So make sure you watch your levels and do what you have to do, guys. I'll be back in a couple of hours for another update. Thank you for listening, and peace.